don't make movies to give messages. You make movies to entertain. What really excites me is when people, I mean, obviously you like it when people enjoy the film because that's your primary concern. But it's interesting when people see certain things in the film that are not hammered, when people are talking about the gender equality aspect of the film, when people are talking about the female aspect of the film, that excites me.
A lot of hard work. I think we wrote for a really long time. I think we wrote for about a year and a half. And it was really also kind of trying to get the right amount of everybody in and still be able to say what we want. And I think that what Zoya wanted to make was a very, very layered film. So, balancing all those layers also was challenging.
I think the feedback universally has been great, and what was very, very exciting that I saw very small kids, really, tiny kids coming up to me and talking about the film and talking about I was taken aback. You see families, teenagers, youngsters, they loving the film and loving everybody's performance was quite very, very heartening. But the most heartening was I could not believe it. Really, three tiny kids coming up to, they've seen the film, and and they were. I thought they'll get scared of me, because the kind of character I play, because I'm kind of a patriarch, dominating kind of person. But there was a lot of warmth the way they met me, and I don't think so they've seen any of my films because they were so young. So they must have just started seeing films, and they were, I was really excited. I said, "मेरा career थोड़ा भी और आगे बढ़ सकता है." Seriously, really, honestly.
Yeah.
Tiny kids, they'd seen the
Nice.
film and they came up to me and I said, they saw your films, the mother said, and they loved you in the film. So I said, oh, great. The scene was so well written, and it comes at, in the screenplay, it comes at a certain point, anybody who have performed that scene would have got claps. So sometimes you see people misunderstand the writing. Obviously you have to deliver, but somewhere it's the writing, it's the way, what point it comes, how the screenplay and the script has been developed to reach to that point, and you want that to happen at that time, and it comes as a surprise. It comes more as a surprise because it comes from a character who's completely opposing this this entire what's happening, what the daughter wants to do and what the son wants to do, and suddenly he flips the side. So that's the writing. So anybody would have done that, that scene would have got claps. So it's not, seriously, I'm not trying to be humble and modest, but that's the way it is.
We don't know for sure. That's theory.
Really?
But
Okay. I feel
what we know for sure is you got claps.
Yeah.
You don't make movies to give messages. You make movies to entertain. You make movies to engage, and within that, if you can reflect your society in some way and show a mirror in some way and add some of your perspective and truth in, and hopefully feel like you can even change two mindsets, I think that's enough. It's great. But you primarily make films to entertain, so you can't go hammer and tong, on a message. You just have to put it out there gently, and that's how I think people's heads change. I think the palette changes. I think so. You have to. It has to come in sweetly. For me, I really have faith in our audience. I really think our audience has changed, and I think that they catch irony, they get the sense of humor, they get the sarcasm. So when Anil's character raises a toast to his daughter and says, all I want is a grandson, they catch it. They understand that he's not saying grandchild, he's saying grandson, and that's not okay. I don't have to then have the Priyanka character saying, why didn't he say granddaughter? Or, you just know from her face. So I feel like, I have it, I trust that the audience gets it, and I think they're really smart. So, yeah. It's not difficult for us. I mean, we wrote it and it comes very easy to us, I think, and it comes naturally to me. That's what comes to me organically. I think it would be difficult for me to try and make a way to underline it, because I think I'd mess that up. If I had to make it obvious, I wouldn't do it well. So I should stick to doing what I do, what comes to me naturally. When you have very good actors, you don't need to say everything. Like, I was really lucky with these guys. You just get it, you just pick it up. And also, actors are really looking to get stuff like that, where they don't have to say everything, and they can also just be, and they can just use behavior and use their internal machinery to project things and to convey things and express stuff. So that comes naturally to me. And if people don't get it, they will get it. By the time the second or third or fourth film like this comes out, they will get it. That's how things change. So I think it's good.
The emotions are the same, because I think that somewhere I feel like someone said a very good thing, that the casting of Shefali was so good. She came across so well in the film. The reason she came across so well, because I think she's a mother. She's a mother of 2 sons. So somewhere she understands. So that really is important. There are certain actresses who are mothers, but still in their mind the transition has not taken place. In their minds, somewhere, they're still the young actresses. So what happens? They perform well, but that reality will not come. But for me, it was, for me, I feel that me as a human being, or as a person, as an actor, my transition as a father has taken place many years back. So I'm first a father, then an actor, then a leading man. So in my mind, and so that really helped me in this, when I performed this role, and there are times when you take cast actors, but in their mind still, they are still, not fathers. So somewhere I think that's a catch situation. So somewhere I think both our characters have really hit the chord with the audience, because mentally we are that like that. But coming to your question, the question is that yes, I'm completely opposite. I'm very democratic. It's not my way or highway in my house. It's very democratic. But there are sets, rules and regulations in the house. We obviously, my wife usually plays the bad cop, and sometimes I do play the bad cop. But otherwise, it's like we're all friends in the house, and everybody has a say. Absolutely. And we ask them once, nahi karna chahiye, and then we let them make the mistakes, and then they realize if they're making any mistakes, you can't know it's a mistake, don't do it. Aisa nahi hai. Let them be. They'll understand. So I'm completely opposite to what my character is in real life, to what Kamal Mehra is. That was much more fun for me to perform this role, because I'm doing something which it's not me at all. Yeah.
Anil sir's character, because there's so many negatives, there's so much negativity in his character, but at the same time he's so lovable, and he's somebody that anyone can really relate to. So I think even that one was challenging, because that's difficult to do, when you have so many shades of grey.
For me, it was, I felt Ranveer's character, I felt Kabir's character, because he didn't have that big a conflict. He was a young boy. He was he didn't know what he wanted to do. He hasn't grown up yet, and at the same time he is spoiled. He's a spoiled Delhi industrialist son. He's a spoiled Delhi rich brat, but you need to like him, you need to feel him. I mean, he doesn't know any better. He's been brought up in this world, and this is his world, and it's somewhere out of that he grows up and becomes a man and realizes this is not what I want, and this is not important, and this is it. I mean, like, that was a fine line. So you have to be very careful with that. I mean, for him to meet the Anushka Sharma character, and she says, I ran away, and he's like, but what did you do for money? He can't even understand being somewhere with nothing attached. So that was a very, for me, a fine character, because you can't just hate him. You can't just be like, you're a spoiled brat. You have to still feel for him, but understand he's a spoiled brat. Yeah.
Why do people only like outbursts? There's much, it's very easy to do outbursts, as I'm just saying that as an actor. But there are a lot of things which, we become very uncomfortable performing, and then to look as real as possible in that. I wish, more people could notice that. Outburst, anger, these are very easy emotions. for a lot of actors to project, I feel.
I think
What Ranveer, if you ask me, the portions where I felt he was brilliant, is in times when he's just silent, and and slowly he's trying to understand the world and his relationships and what it is. The complete where he's on the ship, and the scenes between him and Anushka were fabulous. His scenes, which were really, you could see that he's an actor whose mind is ticking. He's a thinking actor, and and if you see him in real life, what he is, and then you realize that how he is understood it. And I agree with Zoya that it must be very, very difficult, because today I say most of the kids are like that, but it's not been really, you've never seen them on Indian screen. It's one of the first of its kind.
But I think that's why I think Ranveer he's fantastic in the movie. He's really, really good, and he's very good in that scene of the outburst. But I think that's one. It's him and his performance, and it's also the fact that you don't really see this kind of thing often, where you have a kid telling the parents that you don't get to tell me what to do because you guys are messed up. You know what I mean? And showing them the mirror. And I think a lot of it is that, because I think a lot of kids today are a completely different generation. They're coming in with another crazy exposure, and the world is their oyster, and they're suddenly, they're stuck between this like archaic double standard and what they want to explore. And I think that's what they're relating to. No, you didn't need more. I think that when he just tells his father that everyone knows what you're up to, and there's just deadpan silence because it's never mentioned, but it's mentioned with the girls before and the women. You don't need to go.
He says enough.
He says enough. He tells his mother
you go.
Yeah.
That's why you deal with it. I think these are hard things to tell your parents. And coming back a little earlier, what you were saying in terms of a lot of people haven't picked up the fact, the gender equality or the things that we were trying to root for. A lot of people have also, on Twitter. I'd just like to share one of the messages where I think last weekend somebody put out saying, I must take my parents to watch Dil Dhadakne Do so they stop talking about my marriage topic. So people have picked it up.
It's very difficult for me to pick a favorite scene, so to speak. But I think if I had to pick one, I think what really weirdly moves me is when he's in the water and they come in the speedboat and they turn and shout to him, and he looks up and he sees the three family and the dog and smiles. I think that for me is,
For me, the feedback which I've got from a lot of people who have seen the film is the scene, which is a very silent shot in the corridor between me and Priyanka. And I've met a lot of people who have wept and cried in that silent shot, and they said, your heart goes out at that time. There is not a single line said, it's just silent, and I just, whatever it is. So it was so well in the screenplay, the way it comes, the way it's been written, and there were no lines in that. I think everybody's really, really loved that. The feedback people have loved that portion of the film. They've come and especially told me about that shot.
Apparently you can do a sequel to any movie. You just have to take the name of the film and write 2 after it. So but I'm not I'm not really thinking of a prequel or sequel. Like, I need to do something else and then maybe come back to, like, when you feel like, even Zindagi, like, people keep asking me when are you going to do a sequel, but I think when I have something to say with those characters, then I'll do it. Otherwise, no.
Hi, this is Faridoon Shahryar. For the most interesting celebrity interviews, do subscribe to Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.